This is going to be a quick live, and I'm just going to wait. This subject is about remote healing, and I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to ask you a few questions because I'm seeing, I don't know how to say this. Anyone who's been trained under Twin Flame Universe, you need to find out if they've been trained under Twin Flame Universe. I'm just going to call it out. Okay? Because I, for some reason, clicked. I usually don't follow any content creators that do any twin flames for a reason, because it does this to me. And a woman was saying, I'm going to do a Reiki healing to my twin, and this, that, and the other. And the response to the supposed expert said, any energy sent to your twin will repulse them and repel them. Repel them. Let me ask you a question. And I'd like you to ask this. I want you to answer this question when I upload this on YouTube. If you're here, answer this question. I have to. At any time in your life, have you ever heard that remote healing will repel any human being? At any point in your life, have you heard that remote healing someone, especially if it's your beloved, your child, your parent, have you ever heard it be a negative thing to do? Ever? Have you? Seriously, I'd like you to answer. And if you're reading this, listening to this recording, feel free to answer. I'm not kidding. Because we have way too many twin flame coaches right now that are not in union, have never lived with their twin. I'm sorry, at some point I'm going to have to throw down the glove, the gauntlet. Can you imagine telling a person saying, I'm about to send some Reiki healing to my twin? Now, I'm going to assume she's Reiki 2 at the minimum, but let's go with Master Reiki. Not Master Teacher, but Master Reiki. How the fuck is she going to harm or repel her twin? She's not. Why do you think I tell my clients to sage themselves, work on their chakras, and work on their twins' chakras? Why do you think Twin Flame 1111 Cassidy, who was the first one to talk about sending remote healing to your twin, and this content creator's, this supposed coach, his answer was, do not send anything, it will repel them. I feel like pulling my hair out. If you don't want to listen to anyone else, I'm going to give you 2 names to listen to and stick with those 2 content creators. One, it was a twin Ray. He's dead. He's gone. But his videos are still up. And he knew what the fuck he was talking about. And then there's twinflame1111.com Cassidy. I can't believe I'm doing this live, letting you know, whoa. Can you imagine? It's me. It's almost like you saying, hey, my mom's dying of lung cancer. And you say, Tony, should I send healing energy to my mom? Oh, no, that's going to make it worse. No, it's probably going to help her. We know she's dying. So sending her remote healing could actually help her with pain, with lessening the pain, the anxiety of dying, the what if I panic when I'm. Do you understand? You can never harm someone remotely healing someone that you are connected to. The only time you need to ask permission is if it's like when somebody like me is working with a client and I need permission. In fact, I do. In every reading, in every situation, I say, ask your angels, guides, and allies permission to guide you in this journey. And we go right in because I got their permission. But if it's your twin and you believe that's your twin, whatever you feeds your twin. That's why I tell people, don't feed anger against your twin. Don't feed despair if you can help it. I mean, we're all going to have the human experience. We're all going to be pissed off with our twin. Don't get me wrong. But fuck. I don't know who you guys are listening to in the twin flame world, but Mel Brand, his name was Mel Brand, God bless his fucking awesome soul, is still in union, because just because you died doesn't mean you're not in union. But his wife, they're in Canada, and it's Golden Ray. You put Mel Brand Golden Ray or Gold Ray, or because they were twin rays. All right, and go look at his stuff, and he's a hard ass. He's like me. He tells the truth. I learned so much from him. I am so grateful to him and to Cassidy. But there are very few that know what the fuck they're doing. And me and my friend in Norway, I'm not going to mention her name, but she's going to listen to this. You know who you are, my little buddy in Norway. And my friend in England, my little Irish twin Ray. You know who you are. And we sit and talk, and we're like, what the fuck are these people saying? So if I were you, when I interview a coach, I would say, where were you trained? Were you trained? Are you in union? And when were you in union? How long did it last? I swear to God, at this point now, you don't have to like me or work with me. My job isn't to be for everyone, clearly. But my job is to at least direct you to the right, to the right people. Okay? Learn from them. I am actually going to offer at some point soon, I think, Zoom classes on twin ray, twin flame, best practices, because at the end of the day, I was in union, and I was in union multiple times with my twin, and I lived with them for a total of 7 years, out of being out of union for 3, just so you know. But I met him at 18. I literally went through the whole journey. No one taught me. I didn't go to some cult like Twin Flame Universe to learn bullshit. Stay away. I'm going to give you advice. Take it or leave it. You ask people, were you trained? Were you mentored? Who mentored you? Because to say to someone that to send healing energy to your twin is going to repel them is bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. I'm going to tell you that I have the experience of having people block their beloved. In fact, I've had to untie the knots of fucking coaches telling people to block your twin. Block your twin. Do you know how many suicides some of these twins have committed? And high-level soulmates and people who have claimed it was a twin, but I don't know because I've never worked with them, who have come to me in live saying, yeah, he OD'd, or he or she or whatever. I have a client I've worked with for about 2.5 years. She knows who she is. And she found out that her person, high-level soulmate, not a twin, thank God, had died through Facebook. She had blocked him and had dreams of him and decided to look him up on Facebook. And that's when she saw the eulogy. Under 30 years old. Don't think they're old people. Do not listen to these I'm sorry. Please don't listen to these Cassidy has never told people to block people. You will never hear Cassidy say, block them. Never has she said that. Okay? It's a coward's man's way out, a woman's way out. It's a ghosting. No, it's a fucking no. You don't have to talk to them. You can say, hey, I'm going to give you a break. I'm not going to block you. Or if I block you, it's going to be for 30 days. But I'm going to unblock you. Keep your word. Put it on your calendar. But I'm against blocking, by the way, period. Have some, respect. It's your twin. If you're correct and this is your twin, that means this is a soul you were with for millions of years. And you're going to let some podunk fucking little twerp, coach tell you to ignore the soul that was birthed with you? I mean, you were birthed together? Are you kidding me? I feel like crying. I got mine. I got mine. We were in union. We graduated out of twin flame bullshit and cycles. And then he died. And many of you know the story, so I'm not going to go on and on and on. But for those of you who are new, yeah. And he died while I sat next to him, chanting, congratulating him on his journey home. Okay? Enough with that. Been there, done that. And not any twin flame coach can give you every flavor of it. I was never pregnant with this child. Do you understand? So I haven't had the full experience. No one has. No one has. Because you've got twin flames who will have their babies. And you have twin flames who won't. You have twin flames who will never live together. And you have twin flames who do. And in my humble opinion, there are coaches right now, and me and Andromeda Flame talked about it, where they've never even been with a twin, but for one fucking day or 2 weeks of a couple rolling in the that's not a union. That's not. But people have actually started coaching based on the thing with Cassidy. If you ever bought her tape, the first tape, which I bought in 2014, it's the one where it's a guided it's a very quick guided meditation. And at the end of that tape, you hear her twin laugh. Okay? And she was very, very, you never saw her face. I didn't know what she looked like for years. Years. Now she has a picture, one picture of her. By the way, she's a very, very beautiful woman. But one picture. Okay? I don't know what else to say. Be careful, man. Be careful, because you've got some fools playing like they know shit. They're using ChatGPT, which when I do it, you'll know, because I'll say, hey, I'm about to read something on polygyny or on this, that, and the other. And I say, I'm about to read chat, or I'll tell you if I'm reading it from a book. I tell you. But there are people that are acting like they know shit, and they're reading from pieces of paper, and you can see it. If you can't speak from your heart, if you can't speak off the cuff, if you have to prepare your fucking notes, then you don't know the fucking subject. Do you understand me? Like, be very critical. Very critical. This is not a debate where you need your notes, you need some cue cards, some points of view to launch. This isn't a debate. This is soul work. You either know the subject or you fucking don't. Okay? That's it. You either have lived this or you haven't. And you've lived it through yourself, your own experience, or through your clients. And so as you get more and more clients, and you've experienced the twin flame, twin ray, right? Connection through the lens of various people, you start, learning some of these wisdoms. What worked, what didn't work, why it didn't work, what was done to either heal something, or when it was a deal breaker for this incarnation. I'm not kidding. Sometimes the deal breakers for this incarnation involve some pretty dark shit. And a person has to walk away and go, I'm done in this incarnation. I can't do this with this person. They're too sick. There's or they're malignant narcissists. Like any coach that says that, any coach that says that twin flames will never do this, that, and the other, or else it's not your twin, is an idiot. I'll say it. Because in these incarnation, we will either frequency match vibration. If you are depressed when you die, if you have a death that's pretty intense, if you cross over, you work with your guides, and you're still not fully healed, your energy match is not going to be to go into a family that's high vibration. Now, I'm not saying that can't happen, but I'm saying it's less likely. You're not a frequency match to that. You're a frequency match to denser energies. So you will be put with a family that might be fucked up. Another way is that you might be put in a family where you choose a family that's fucked up because you want to process. You want to do. Can I do an over? Can I do it over? I fucked up. I should have known this, that, and the other, and I know what I should have done. And I really give me a family similar, and let me work it out this time. Let me win. There's that too. There's a lot of various things that happen. But what happens for a lot of souls, a lot of us as souls, is that we are damaged in some way or another by our culture, by our religion, by the trauma of these people that are parents that aren't prepared to be good parents, that betray us, that harm us in various ways, that create addictions, that create narcissists. Narcissists aren't born, they're made. Right? I hope we know this. They don't just, pop up out of nowhere. They are carved out of stone by various factors. Okay? They don't just no one's born a narcissist. We are not born in sin, my friends. We are born pretty clear. The majority of us, I'd say 99.9% of us, are born good. And then the environment, the way we're raised and so on, annihilates or hides, not annihilates, hides our innate goodness. This is why sometimes you love your twin, but you realize, and I've asked these questions to some of my clients who have really kind of like 3D twins that are really arrogant, entitled. They're kind of like pieces of shit. But you love their soul. You don't like the egoic personality they're in, but you love their soul. Why? Well, because your soul recognizes their soul. And and that's what you love. You love their light. Unfortunately, it's covered over with all this personality, ego-driven shit. But let's go back to why I did this live with such an intensity. Again, a coach saying, do not send healing Reiki energy. Do not send healing light. Every time I'm saying, do not send healing Reiki energy. Do not send healing light. Every time I have saging, visualizing, protection, working on his chakras after I worked on my chakras, all of these weird, sticky, oily, some like tarish, some scars would fall away. And every time we're back on the phone talking, the connection was sweeter and on a higher frequency. You can never harm your twin by sending remote healing. But to see a coach say that is alarming. So again, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to ask you, if you send healing light to your twin, to your child, to one of your parents, to your best friend, to whoever that you are close to the planet, to Palestine, to the Congo, to homeless people here, do you think it's going to actually repel, harm? I'm actually seriously asking. And so the question is, why would somebody coach that? Why would somebody say that? Do you really think that sending your best energy to your twin is going to make them run? Do you think so? Hi, Tony. So any answer to that? No, I really want an answer. Do you have an answer? Do you really think that if you send healing energy every day to your twin, let's say you sage yourself, you say, I attract only people of light. Only people of light come to me wherever I go. Abundance of love, health, and wealth follow me wherever I go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then you sage your twin remotely. Do you think it's going to harm your twins? I really want answers. I'm not kidding. Seriously. But that was the answer of a pretty big influencer. And again, it's up to you. Thank you. Absolutely not. It can only help. Exactly. I think if they're not in the same light, it will just drain you. No, it can't drain you. No. And again, Michael Singer talks about in his book, The Untethered Soul. Your idea that it's going to drain you is actually your ego. Your soul would never be drained, because the minute your twin calls you on the phone, you're full of energy. You're running around. You're like, oh my God, you can sleep on 2 hours. 2 hours is enough. That's you being programmed by, I'm sorry, I can't find assholes. And the monkey mind gets drained. The soul is infinite in its energy. It is never tired. Okay? It is never tired unless it goes through the kind of trauma that you will never experience if you live in the Western world. You will never experience it unless you're homeless, you're abused, you have no ID, you have no money, you're panhandling, you're skinny, you're sick, you have tuberculosis. Do you understand? That's when the soul takes mercy on the body and drops it and basically says, it's time for us to go. It's not going to work here. But the soul, sending remote healing energy to your twin will never drain you. Again, my question to you is, where did you learn this? And here's the thing. It's what I just gave you as an example is saging and saying the same words. It took less than a minute. How the fuck is that going to drain you? The only time your twin is going to drain you remotely is if they're going through the dark night of the soul, they're addicted to shit, they are having sex with another person. That's going to drain you because you're getting hit by this. You're actually physically there and you're experiencing it. The actual feeling of the sex is basically pain. It's not so much that it drains, it gives you such a level of pain, and it can be physical. But if your twin is drained, you're going to feel the drain because you have an umbilical cord that is from your belly button to their belly button. It's like this energy that flows back and forth from the Hara chakra. But try not to be drained. Ask yourself, why am I being drained when I send healing energy? Maybe you're actually sending healing energy from an empty cup. Maybe you have no energy for yourself or not enough, and you need to replenish, and you need maybe 6 months to replenish. But I can tell you that the dark night of the soul will wipe you out. But the energy is, that makes very much sense to me, very much so. Good, I'm glad, because I really need you to not block your twin unless your twin is a psychopath, a sociopath, a malignant narcissist. He's abused you physically. You know what I mean? I get it. You won't get any arguments from me. Okay? And you could say, and in my opinion, in my humble opinion, this is where I come in with a humble opinion. I would say to a twin like that, and I don't want to hear anybody, it's not your twin if that's happening. I don't want to hear it, go away, little person. I want to hear only facts. We are 3D. We are living a 3D life in an infrastructure that creates toxic human beings. And some of us have soul bonds and links, and that's it. That's the end of it. And not everyone who's a twin is walking on water. As a matter of fact, twin flame means burning karma. And that's something I downloaded. No one's told me that. It was like, flame, hang on. What? Flame. Oh, fuck, yeah. Burning karma. Of course it's flame, twin flame. Twin rays. Oh, rays, light. Being in your light. Having healed all the fucking looping and running and chasing and this and that and the other. Rays, being in your light, right? And then, of course, people want to be cute and they want to go meta flame, meta ray, look, let's just talk about two consciousness of deep connections with these souls that are really, you are like the embodiment of them in some aspect, that you're sharing, you're sharing so much, it's insane. I don't want to get too personal, but you share their smell. You share their smell. So if they're masculine, of course they have a masculine smell, if you get my drift. But somehow you smell like them. They smell like you. It's the weirdest thing. And you've never had that happen before. That could be your story. It could be something else that's your story. And that's not your story, but something else is something you share. There's a lot of things you share. Numbers, synchronicities, telepathy, root chakra healing. Usually a lot of trauma. And it's not just from this incarnation. It's a culmination of all these other incarnations. So when you remotely heal your twin, and again, this is the rule, okay? You never heal them first before you've healed yourself first. You want to sage yourself? You sage yourself first. You work on your chakras first. Then you sage them remotely, and you then visualize their chakras. And you work on their chakras, okay? And that's it. That's all you got to do. And you don't have to do it. I mean, some of us, like me, I did it every day. It wasn't a problem. I didn't feel drained. I was fine. I was laying out in the, after, doing that exercise, I go out in my blanket, lay out nude in the sun, enjoy myself on the, being up in the mountains of Northern California, and I was good. I wasn't drained. I was getting activated, healed. And then finally we came into union after a few months of separation. And I did it not out of desperation. I was like, he's my twin and I want to make sure he's okay. And then suddenly we were back and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. But part of the reason why he came back and we got back into union was, well, one is we had soul contracts to complete. We had things unsaid to learn. We had to teach each other to be better human beings for ourselves and for each other. And so, visualizing what I did and how I did it one day, I'm actually going to write a book about it, because some of the shit that we were able to overcome were impossible. And the only reason why it happened was twin flames can create possibilities in the impossible field, right? In other words, twin flames in the 3D world can break down barriers with ease. And because they are working on a 5D level or above. And so what would be impossible for your average Joe and Jane is kids play for twins, even if they're in separation. Because if one twin stands in their light and starts sending energy to, I don't know how to put this, to dissolve blocks that are separating both of you from each other, and you don't come from a place, see, that's the key thing though. You are not desperate. You are not clingy. You are not hungry. You're just saying, I surrender in this life or the next, but I'm going to do my best that not a lot of karmic shit is going to stand between him and me. Okay? And a situation that should have been absolutely impossible became possible. And I can't tell you how many times that's happened along the way. And that's when I realized, like, halfway through our relationship, our union, how this worked. How twin flames work together. And I started asking twins, does that happen to you? Oh, yeah. I did a video. It was so common for twins to manifest impossible situations with ease that I did a video on the power of twins when they're together to manifest. And guess how many comments I got? People were actually sharing, going, oh yeah, and sharing little bits of their stories. So that's my point. Okay? We are not playing the regular dating game rules of engagement in the 3D world on a twin flame. You're not doing that. If you want to win, you're not doing that. If you want to kick rocks and be depressed and go through various cycles and various phases of, the dark night of the soul, and you want to follow get completely confused with all these fucking advices, I've given you 2 fucking solid people that you can actually follow. And to be honest with you, you should follow me too. And I am arrogant because I fucking have walked it. I know what I'm talking about. You think I'd have people coming to me if I didn't? And I mean twins, healers, people who actually are in the healing field. And I'm not saying that these other people don't have people coming to me who respect them. But I have to say that I'm not seeing the answers. I'm not seeing real storytelling of their own unions. And a lot of them I don't follow, to the point where, I'm going to be blunt, I block them because I don't want them on my FYP, to be honest. I don't even want to see it. I don't want to see it because I know the bullshit. I've had clients send me links on certain people, and because I got to cater, because the clients ask me, what do you think of that? And I have to watch them, and I'm gritting my teeth going, I'm going to have to take a walk. And that's why they're sending me the video, because it is questionable, to be honest, to be fair. And then I go back to them and we discuss it. or I type it out, or I voice note. Here's why I think this is wrong. Here are the good points, but here are the bad points. But the good points in this case outweigh the bad points, or vice versa. I try to be fair. You know, I'm not doing this out of my ego. My job, for me personally, isn't to lead you into the wrong places. Do you understand? I don't want any karmic entanglement with people. So my job is to make sure I come from the place of massive integrity. I want to make it to 5D, and leading people astray, if that's going to prevent that, my priority, to be blunt, is for me to make it into the arms of my twin on the other side of the veils, not to hustle people. And it's actually one of the reasons why I'm moving out of confirming twin flames and going more into twin coaching, because it makes me much more comfortable. Now, if I feel like in a coaching session that a twin flame, see, all the people I coach, I've all confirmed them as twin flames. I don't like to work with people who are not confirmed twin flames with me typically, but I will still ask questions to see where they're at. And sometimes it's just an obsession loop with a high level soulmate at best, at very best. Sometimes it is a twin flame, actually. And through my readings, but most importantly through questioning them, asking them basic questions. And it's questions I'm not going to say here because I don't want you to know them, because in case you work with me, I don't want you to be prepared. But when I ask these questions, like it's a series of questions that I drop casually, because I don't want them to get nervous. But 9 times out of 10, if they hit at least 9 out of 10 or thereabouts, they are twin flames. And you know what's funny, though? I have to say, and I've been very blessed, I'm attracting really powerful twins who really... Actually, some of the people coming to me, to be honest with you, have been following me for 2 years and finally are reaching out to coach. Like I just did a couple 3 days ago, and they're twin flames. And the masculine twin has been following me for I think, I'm going to say 2 years, is what I heard him say, 2 years. And he was trying to figure it out. So I have a lot of content that you can actually listen to for absolutely free, and you can really figure yourself out. You can figure out this journey. But in no way will I ever ask you to be cruel to your twin. To me, and it's not just me, it's psychology. The worst thing you can do to someone in psychology is to ghost someone. Worst thing. The best thing you can do is say to them, listen, I'm triggered as fuck. I need some time. I can't talk to you for a while. Here's a list of books I want you to read. If you really love me, you'll read them, because you'll wonder why I think these books are important, right? And these books I discuss all the time. You can go back to my videos, and there's a list of books that I mention all the time. Same books, basically, and I explain why these books are important. I explain why that your twin needs to wake up, especially if your twin is in the density of 3D. You're fucking clueless of what's going on. There's certain books they need to read. And if they really, really love you, or they're fully aware of how much they love you, out of curiosity alone, just out of respect, because they love you, wow, what turns her on? What turns him on? They'll read the damn book. And that's going to open up their eyes. Because another thing that's truer than true, you will not be in union with your twin if you're in 4-5D and they're in 3D and refuse to get out of it. It's not a frequency match unless you want to regress, unless you want to play dumb. You want to just, I don't believe in reincarnation. I don't believe in contracts. I don't believe we're twin flames. I'll just be over here sitting I'll just act like I know nothing. I'm just going to totally regress. I'm actually going to work really hard on forgetting everything. And then I can match my twin flames 3D stance. And then we'll be in union. That's not how it works. So when twins come together, the goal is for the pain that you've gone on, the pain that has literally stripped you and lashed you, is going to make you ask some really intense questions. And that's the first activation. And what you do with that pain defines the kind of foundation you're building aside from your twin, but for your twin in this life or the next. And this is critical. It's critical because sometimes I've done a couple lives that are about twins. In fact, there's a twin flame video. You can look it up, and it's about the karma, the soul contract, and twin flames. And I have hypothetical stories of twins in various incarnations, looping it into the Akashic records, how you can change that, and how you can actually be a master of your fate or a victim of it, victim of your life, outside environment and so forth. So I highly recommend you watch that on YouTube. It's free. It's right there. And that could actually trigger a deeper understanding for yourself on how to deal with your twin. Because at the end of the day, if you get a hit in your heart chakra that you should send a remote healing to your twin, fucking do it. Don't suppress that feeling. Love is love. You don't suppress love. I found you can try to regress, but once you have ascended, it makes you ill, not embracing it. It brought me back to you. I will look for these books on YouTube. Yeah. Go look at the videos. Go look at the videos. I talk about them all. There's the reason why I'm doing that to you and not telling you. It's not to be a bitch. I want you to listen to videos. I want you to get activated. I want you to listen to what I'm saying. And so go ahead and look for the videos that are going to give you stories that are going to tell you and give you various understandings. Because I'll give you an example. 15th century Italy, you have a past life with your twin. And there are two options that could have happened in that. Well, there's more, but I only give you two options. And then you reincarnate again in 1920s. And now you're experiencing World War II and you meet your twin again. What happens there? You got two options of what could have happened. You see what I'm saying? So I do that. Why? So you start maybe looking at your own life and your own patterns in this life and why you're in separation from your twin, so that you can sit back and go, wait, hang on. And then you're going to get downloads. If you meditate through this stuff, you're going to get aha moments of your life, your incarnations with your twins. And that's what's important, for you to actually understand why you're not in union. Why? You see what I'm saying? No one can make this happen. People can coach. I can coach you. Other people, but please make sure you get a coach who can say, yeah, what, my twin and I are married, or my twin and I ended up living together for 6 years and then they died, or my twin, we lived together for 6 years, or we lived together for a year and then my twin's in Bangladesh. I don't know, whatever, right? And we talk here and there, but and you want to, and if you feel like it's a lie, then fucking walk, feel it. Don't be influenced by you thinking they're influencers and they must know more than you. Please just follow your heart, man. Just follow your heart. If it feels good to you, boom, yeah, book them. If not, it's a no. It's just a no. You got to get hits. Are you going to fuck up sometimes? Of course you are. You're going to get hits and it'll be the wrong hit. But most of the time you're going to hit and it's going to be the right decision. You're going to make but I need you to not be influenced by, they have all these people and no, I don't care how many people they have. Is this good for you? Is this person going to get you to understand? Is this person going to give you homework? Is this person going to, get you to where you need to be consciously to help you, bring your twin back? Sometimes the twin doesn't come back for the long haul. Sometimes the twin comes back for sex and knowledge. And usually what I tell my clients is, listen, I know you want the sex, and of course, enjoy, but make sure you fucking have some lessons. The pillow talk cannot be about, why did you not call me? Why didn't you do this? The pillow talk needs to be about while you were gone. I read this book and that book. And it's on my Audible, actually. And let me, hey, you know what? I'm going to make you breakfast. You want to? I want us to listen to this. Do you mind? I'm going to listen. Let me put on chapter 8. Boom. And that's it. And so when you get together with your twin, that's what you do. And you do not say, oh, well, you're my twin, he's really 3D. I don't know, I just didn't think it'd be a good idea because, he's not into that or she's not into that. People are changing overnight. I'm just going to give it to you in brass tacks. People that were Republicans went Democrat, and Democrats went Republicans, and many went independent. People change. People change political parties, religions, and philosophies. There are people that felt one way in 2018, and by 2022, because of the COVID lockdown, they had completely changed everything they thought was real, they thought was bullshit. People change. And so you might think you know your twin from the last time you spoke to them 6 months ago, and you have no idea where they're coming from. You might actually be shocked them saying, oh, fuck, I heard about, Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've been hearing about him. Yeah, let's listen to chapter 8. What's the title of the book again? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm coming from. Yes, you can remotely send healing energy to your twin lovingly, not desperately, not, don't do any cord cutting bullshit unless you do it realizing that you're not going to be able to cord cut. It's actually going to cord cut all crap. But the actual bond of a twin is impossible. Better people than you have tried and failed. I have a video on that, on how cord cutting does not work on a twin. But I found that the benefits, because the glass is always half full, is that though it's not going to work, it's going to remove all the gunk, all the crap. It's actually going to do that. It's like vacuuming a dirty carpet. You're going to vacuum all these shreds of weird shit that's been blocking both your energies. So on that way, it's a win. But no one can do that for you. I had another client who told me that she had a friend do a cord cutting ceremony for her. Yeah, fucking don't do that. Don't let anybody get involved in a ceremony. What I do is I tell you what to do, and then you go do it. But I would never in my entire start cord cutting for you. Can I sit across from you and work on your chakras? Yes. Okay? But I prefer you learn. But if you ask me, can you cord cut from me? I'd be hell no. No, I'm not doing that. However, I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you how to. Why don't I want you to do that? Why don't I want you to have someone else cord cut your twin for you? Why do you think? Because the purity of the energy of your union is you and your twin, not you, your twin, and some kind of healer that think that they know everything. You don't want a third party on that shit. This is not a marriage. You don't need a priest or priestess. What you need is to know the knowledge, to understand the knowledge, to understand the preparation, and just fucking do it. Okay? Learn how to heal yourself. Do you understand? Just like when you were a baby, you didn't know how to eat with a spoon, and you taught yourself. I mean, your mom eventually gave you the spoon, and you figured it out. Figure it out. Ask coaches to give you the details on how to do it. And if the coach refuses, I'd back away. I'd back away. Like, no. You know what I mean? No. It's not the same. What I'm saying is not the same as body work, Reiki work. Those are different things. But did you notice it's not Reiki for you and your twin, and your twin's in New York and you're in Bangkok, okay? It's you and your healer on the table. Or you and your healer remote healing you, not your twin too. No, you don't do that. Because now you're entangling someone else's, because you don't really know that healer, to be honest. You really don't know their entirety, their life, their trauma, their drama. You don't know them at all. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying you don't want to add a third party to that wheel. You want to keep the energy. It's just you and your twin. Have you noticed that most people don't go into union with their twins because they involve mom, pop, friends on both sides of the story? Have you noticed there's too many people involved? Everyone has an opinion. You see what I'm saying? So you want to keep it clean, easy, you and your twin, and you do the cord cutting, and you do it on your own, and then you release whatever no longer serves you, and that's exactly what you say. There's a whole thing you can do, and Again, I'm not going to repeat myself, but that's the process, basically, okay? Have confidence, man. If you have a twin, right, that means you're an ancient soul. If you're an ancient soul, you have the knowledge already, you just forgot, to be honest, you know? Let me see what else is there here. Okay, so any comments or questions? Anything at all? Any comments or questions? Okay, cool. So check it out on YouTube. Tomorrow is the Lionsgate portal. This is a powerful time. It's going to seep into the 9th of August. And it's interesting because we have... I'm just realizing this. So 2025 is 9, right? You know this. The 9th is, again, God's master number. Look up on my TikTok page. You'll see under the playlist, you'll see numerology. Look up 9. And I've got 2 videos on 9, 144, 414, 441. And then there's, 27, 18. What's the other one? I forgot. But anyway, it's up there. And so you can understand why 9 is so important. But on the 9th of August, we're dealing with 8. And 8 is the infinity loop, and it's a karmic number. And there's karma that needs to be purged. So when we go into the Lions, the Lionsgate, the Lions portal, we're looking at things collapsing. And the portal is allowing us to intend... Well, I mean, I'm hoping that many of you will see it as an opportunity to open into 5D New Earth, to actually co-create that together. Again, I've said last year that 2024 was 8. It was a karmic number, and boy, did we see that in full action. And 2025 is 9, co-creating with the universe. Next year will be 10, right? It'll be 2026, which is 10. 10 is Isis Osiris, the wheel of fortune, the balance of yin and yang. The wheel of fortune goes up and goes down. It should be a roller coaster next year. After that, we're going to go into 11, which is 2027, and 11 has shadows. The shadows are the following, just to give you an idea of numerology. The shadows are connected to the moon, not knowing where you're going, not knowing where you're going to end up, but having full faith, almost walking blindfold, but somehow being divinely led with grace to your destination, or stumbling. It's connected. So 11 is that number. And then again, in some numerologists, they will tell you never to add 1 + 1, but I do. So 1 + 1 is 2, connected to the high priestess in tarot, and that's psychic energy, co-creation. It's a beautiful number. There's no problems. But what we do or don't do this year during the Lions portal is going to define, I'm being told to tell you, the next 3 years. So if all you want is a good job and that's all you can manifest in your mind, think bigger. Think more globally. Think things that are going to benefit you and the planet. Ultimately, what do you want? Abundance. Great. Good. What kind of abundance? I want love, health, and wealth. Good. Perfect. I want it for the entire planet. Good. And don't allow your monkey mind to step in and ruin that image. Just go with that. And that should help co-create, architect a wonderful foundation, right? That could help the next 3 years be a little easier to handle. Because if we just bump into walls and fuck up this portal and not do anything, I think we'll have another portal this year, another moon eclipse or something like that. I'm not sure, I'll have to look it up, but if we don't get serious, we're going to be having an interesting ride, okay? So this is a very, very, very important portal. Okay, cool. So thank you, Tim, Sarah. It was great seeing you. I'm going to go. Again, much love to you. Send all the healing you want to your twin. I want to love myself fully in the next 3 years so I can give love to all. Great, Tim. I think that's wonderful. Go ahead and check out my videos on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube, please. YouTube, you can search Sacred Intimacy Tarot. Go to my profile page. The link is right there. But most importantly, Send healing energy to your twin when you want. Do whatever the fuck you want, as long as it comes from a place of light and love and abundance. You feel, say, a jagged feeling that your twin needs your healing light because they're going through a hard time. Send the energy. Do not hold back. You will regret it. You will regret it. I swear to God, I've had too many clients who literally, again, not to be dramatic, but what the hell, that I need you to take this seriously. It's no skin off my nose. But again, this young 27-year-old finding out that her high-level soulmate, and at the time, the love of her life, right? And gone on Facebook, dead. Okay? No joke. No joke. And he was a very young man. Okay? So just please, if you get a hit to love your twin remotely, to pick up the phone, you're not begging, you're just checking in, going, hey, I'm there, or just send the energy remotely. If you really, really want to be cautious and you really want to keep your ego intact, and I'm not putting you down, I understand when I say that, then send a pulse of healing energy to your twin and do it until you feel like everything's okay. Because if something happens and you withheld, you think you got fucking emotional problems about not loving yourself and self-forgiveness, you will never forgive yourself. And I don't want that for you. So please don't listen to those. Listen to me, okay? Listen to me. Auntie Tony. And Auntie Tony's saying, we don't want fucking regrets. We want to live with a fierce passion, open hearts, all the best we can, always with integrity, always with love. And if that person's not meant to live another fucking month, day, you did your best and you actually fucking did, okay? Sending you much love on your journey. Namaste. Be well.